This video is designed to be a little tutorial to get you started with Ratatui. So layouts dictate the structure of the interface, and they divide the screen into various sections using constraints that let the widgets sort of fill in those sections with the content that you want. Here's a little example of using the layout. Layouts are directional, so essentially you're going to be setting like if it's going to be a vertical type layout or a horizontal type layout. It's very straightforward. In this example, we're just going to use the constraints to divide by 50%. And here we're going to be calling the split method. The split function will basically take the total size of the terminal window as an argument, returned by the frame.area method, and then it's going to calculate the appropriate size for the placement based on our constraints. So this defines what we call as the outer layout. You can also give it a little margin property. And I'm just going to render two widgets inside this layout. I'll render two paragraph widgets with little blocks surrounding them. And if we run that, as you can see, we sort of have two blocks here separating half of the screen laid out in a vertical direction. And you can see the little margin property that was applied. And for an example of the horizontal direction, if I just change this to horizontal real quick, we can run this again, and you'll notice it does the same layout, but in the horizontal direction instead of the vertical. And another important feature is nesting the layouts. So here I'm going to be putting a layout inside another layout. So I'll define an outer layout as before. Then I'm going to be defining an inner layout, which if you notice down here is going to be calling split on the outer layout itself. So I'm going to be dividing the inner layout. I'll add some widgets to sort of use our new inner layout as well as the outer layout up here. And if I run this, you'll notice, let's make this bigger. You can see sort of down below, we're going to be we're dividing this section up into two, and this is a nested inner layout here. So this is a very important concept when you're building your user interfaces. The constraints dictate the size and the arrangement of the components within the layout. And the Ratatui framework provides several constraint types for fine-tuning your user interface layouts. Now we've seen the percentage. This constraint divides the size relative to the percentage of the parent layout that you're giving it. So in this case, we're using the full terminal itself, and then it's going to divide the screen up by 50-50, just as we set it. So if I change this to length, the length constraint specifies a specific number of rows or columns that the rectangle of this is going to take up. And this is going to be determined by an absolute size, and it's not responsive to the terminal changing at all. So let's just go into an example of that. Let's just get rid of this. We're going to make these 5 length each side. And there, as you can see there, each one of these is going to be basically like five rows long. Another constraint is the fill constraint. You can think of this as a scaling factor that's proportional to the other fill constraints that you've defined. So if I define like a fill constraint of 1 and a fill constraint of 2, and I run this, you'll notice that at the bottom here, the fill constraint 2 is going to take up this much space. And if I was to change this to 4, for example, you can see the proportions are going to be different. This is going to be bigger now. This is going to be smaller. This is like a proportional based filling scaling style constraint. All right, and two other constraints are the max constraint and the min constraint. So you can think of this as this is going to be the maximum size that this element will ever get. And this is the minimum size that this element can ever get. Very useful when the size of the screen is changing. And you can kind of see if I run this, if I make this smaller, you'll notice the one on the left-hand side, it'll go smaller, but it'll max out at 10 columns. The one on the very right side, outer block 2, it'll never shrink below 7, but it'll get bigger. It'll allow it to get bigger. And then the middle is always going to try and take up a percentage of 70 of the screen. And that's also an example of mixing and matching the constraints, because they can sort of be mixed and match a bit, depending. So in Ratatui, widgets are the building blocks of the user interface. Widgets can be combined and nested to create complex UIs and can be easily customized to suit the needs of your applications. So we get a bunch of different widgets in Ratatui, and we're going to be going over those. First up is the block widget. This widget is super important. I'm going to show it on the left-hand side here. It's a basic drawing block. It's used a lot for borders, adding titles, good for styling. It's going to be a very important part of dividing up sections of your user interface and stuff like that. So this is a block widget. You can kind of define it like this. You can do a block bordered. You can add colors to it. You can add titles, and there's more. And we have the bar chart, as you can expect and see sort of on the left-hand side. This is used to display data sets with bars and optional grouping. Very useful. You can sort of declare it like this with a bar default. You can give it a block. You can give it some data that we have declared up top. You can give bar width, bar style, the style of the values inside the bars. We have the calendar widget, which can be used to display a single month. The example is a bit verbose, so we won't be going through it fully, but you can check it out on the documentation on the website. And of course, like you'd expect from any UI library, we have the list widget. Very important for displaying lists of information. As you can see on the left-hand side, this is sort of like an example of it being rendered here. Got just a list with a bunch of items in it. You define a set of data. You can declare the list widget itself like this, and you can give it the data. You can give the list widget a block for styling purposes. You can directly declare the style. You can declare highlight styles, highlight symbols, for when you're selecting between the list, which I don't have that set up right here. So the list widget, very important. And of course, to display text, we have the paragraph widget. Excellent for displaying your paragraphs, text, wrapping lines. It can even implement the scroll bar functionality with the paragraph widget. Fairly easy to set up and define also. You just create a new paragraph. You give it the string that you want to display in the paragraph. You can give it an optional block. You can define the text align. You can define if it's going to be wrapping or not. Very easy and important widget. That's the paragraph widget. You can see in the example here, these have blocks. The paragraph itself can have a block. Everything can have a block. And of course, we have the table widget. As you can expect, it's used to display multiple rows and columns in a grid, like a spreadsheet or a table. That's the table widget. This is an example of sort of the table widget in action here. You can give it optionally its own block. You can give it its own title, styling, coloring. Also very easy to define and set up in the code. You can just call a table new. You're going to give it sort of the rows and the table constraints that you're going to be using to define the table. You can add things like column spacing, styling, header styling, optional blocks, specific cell highlighting, and much more. Table widget, super important for any user interface. And at the top here, we have another important widget. This is the tab bars. This little tab bar functionality here. You can just see me switching between the tab bars. The way it's set up, it's just sort of underlined as it jumps between the two. Very important UI element. Also very easy to set up in the code. Basically, you can just call it tabs new. You're going to give it a list of strings, which is going to be the titles for the tabs itself. You can define the dividers for the tab, like dot symbols. You can define specific highlighting styles for the tabs themselves. Optional padding, which basically wraps around the names of the titles. And then it has functionality to manage its state, like which tab has selected or not. And of course, a section to add your own block, to add borders and styling and whatnot. So the tab, very easy to use, very easy to set up, and well documented. Fill our cargo toml here. We'll start with the Ratatui dependency. Then we'll add the cross term. This is going to be the terminal backend. Ratatui interfaces with the terminal emulator through a backend. And the last is optional, but it's very useful. This is going to be the color IR. It's actually used for error handling, and it'll be able to display custom error handling. Okay, we're just going to go over Ratatoui's starter pack. You're going to want to set up the initial application loop, and we're just going to go over that real quick. So if you're going to be using the color IR crate, you're going to be wanting to return color IR specific result. And the first line you're going to want to call is the color IR install. This is going to set up the error handling. Next, we're going to call the Ratatui init method, and then we're going to be returning the Ratatui terminal. We're going to be setting up a run method, which is going to be running the main game loop, and it's going to be returning a result. When the game loop's finished, we're going to be calling the restore method. This is going to set up the terminal to its original state, and then we're going to end up returning the color IR result, which is going to be super useful for really nice error handling. And for the run method, we're just going to be setting up a loop. The loop's going to be calling the terminal draw method. We're going to be passing it the render method, which is just going to be displaying the hello world for now. And inside of the loop after the draw call, we're going to be setting up some event handling, which we're going to be going into later in the video. And that's basically it for Ratatouille starter pack. If I run this, I can do a cargo run and you can see, let's blow this up. It's just going to display hello world right in the corner. All right. So the application needs to accept events that come from the user via the standard input. The only events this application is worrying about is basically key events. And that's basically done through the cross-term library, which is Ratatouille's sort of backend you could think of. Now, in order to sort of read the key presses from the user, we're going to be calling the event read function. This is actually going to block until the next event. So you have to keep that in mind. There's ways to do this in non-blocking techniques using the poll. For this example, we are going to be just using the blocking technique. So you would call an event.read. You'd be looking at the incoming key code, call a match statement, and match up a char event. And then you can pick a specific char, like in this example, and we're just going to break on the Q. If the user presses Q, we're just going to sort of break. If I run this, and I press Q, it breaks. And this is essentially how you're going to be handling user input. All right, hopefully that's going to help you get started on your Ratatouille journey. If you found the information useful, please consider liking and even subscribing. It really helps the video.